All right, welcome back to Bye Guys Crypto Show, where mania rules, caution drools. We play the fools for your viewing pleasure. I'm Raff.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Stu.
We talk crypto all day, every day, without delay. The American way. We're here to stay, baby. And yeah, it's been 3 months of hiatus for the Bye Guys, but we are back strong and in charge, man. I don't know how else to say this. I'm so jacked up for tonight's show. Special edition of Bye Guys, NFT edition. It's coming at you in just a few, but we're going to start off with we're like just catching up, man. 3 months apart. The three amigos, the three musketeers, we just been separated. We've been going our own direction. We had a little, there was a bit of a falling out after the racing of the MoonBulls, the very, very brutal contest that ended our first season, 10 episodes strong. Stu won in I think it's still a very tenuous decision.
No, most would call it a landslide.
Well, maybe back then. Here's the thing. What's been so exciting? So just to bring everyone up to speed, the Bye Guys are Raff, Stu, and Noah. We are 3 friends from college, 40-something, beer guzzling, ex-frat bros. And, we're just having a good time. Crypto brought us back together after many years apart. Probably around the start of 2021, we started texting exchange. We started to hear about each other's interest in crypto. I think, Stu, you first caught me on Twitter. You saw me retweet something related to XRP, and you're like, Raff, I didn't know you were into crypto. And then somehow Noah reached out. I don't know what the chain of events there was. You were like, Bitcoin hit 17,000, and you're like, Raff, I heard you're in Bitcoin. What's going on with this stuff? And suddenly the 3 of us started hitting up the sort of MoonBulls text chain, and we said, let's create a crypto show. Let's do something on YouTube. We got all these other people out there, let's put our own spin on it, have some fun with it. And I thought we had a great run for season 1, 10 episodes. But we had to put it to bed there at the end of July. It's been 3 months. We're back strong, man. How the markets have changed, how the worm has turned, how things have just remarkably transformed. And if we knew then what we know now, right, fellas? Wow. Let's look at the history of this market, Jeff. Just in the brief time that the Bye Guys existed. Let's look back at like the June, July days. Oh, by the way, do you guys remember when we first got in this game? I mean, it was like 2 weeks in. Markets just tanked, right? Am I crazy about that? When it was like June? There it is. If you like, yeah.
This is so. Yeah, you guys have been in this for about a year. Raff, you obviously longer. I think the history goes back to 2017. You're kind of the OG of the 3 of us here. But if you look at Stu, talk about when you got in.
I've been in for about 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, and around November. Yep.
You were a big Pundi X whale, weren't you?
A little bit.
So we'll go back to the beginning of 2020. First 2. Raff's been in, just accumulating for 3 years and realizing some gains, right? And I got in at the perfect time, as you might say, right around here, as things were actually going up. So I came in right in April of 21 is when this journey began for me. And we started to kind of track the market along the way. So let me change this here, just narrow this scope down a bit. So we're just going to look at 2021. So the market really peaked right around, what are we at here?
Right around episode 1.
Right around the time MoonBulls launched. That's right.
Yeah, episode 1, it was Bitcoin was at, I remember, 64,000. Market cap was at 2.5 trillion. And then steady episode 1, 2, 3, all the way through episode 10 that ended right at the end of June. I think
so basically what you're saying is we should start another season and we get into a little bit of a bear cycle, but it would come back strong, right?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We had week over week losses, and it was an interesting time to talk about it, but it was actually a very boring time other than the drops. But as soon as we stopped, I guess the point of this slide is just showing, there was a huge inflow of capital into the market, a lot of it driven by NFTs, which I know we're going to talk about today. And we had kind of this meteoric moon cycle over the last 3 months to take us up to Where we were recently is right about 3 trillion. It was $2.94 trillion market cap just 3 months later, and surpassing the previous all-time high. We've seen a little bit of a correction here in the last couple of weeks, but overall, all of our portfolios are up since MoonBulls, and we've seen some nice gains.
And just to remind the unacquainted, MoonBulls was a game that I think Stu really was the driver behind this. And now we all know why, because he ended up winning the first season of it. Tell us a little bit about the MoonBulls, Stu.
Yeah. So again, it was just easy to win. So the three of us made that initial investment. Well, let me back up. We made that commitment to the 10-week MoonBull race. The very first week, all three of us put the $50 into our particular crypto of choice, and then for the next 9 weeks, $25 per week, and then again you could shift the investment to whatever crypto you wanted, and a little bit of strategy, a little bit of luck. I don't want to start this relationship out in season 2 with an untruth. A lot of mine was luck, but I carried it. I carried my particular coin far enough to win that competition.
Your particular coin that you now know you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I'm still in on that, baby. I'm on the AMP train. I'm chugging along. I'm like the pirates. Choo choo. Yeah, fired up. You guys are out of AMP. I'm still a believer. But maybe you're the smart ones, because it's kind of like it's pretty steady Eddie right now. I'm waiting for, I don't know, something. But you got in around what, like 2 or 3 cents on AMP, and then it went up.
I got in early, and I said for the entirety of that competition that it was for that period it was a 6-cent coin, and if it was 6 cents, I would easily win the competition. It stayed at 6 cents. I easily won the competition. I think now, and I'd be fibbing if I said I looked at it fairly recently, but it's about a 5.5-cent token. So again, it hasn't moved a lot. I still believe maybe in the long term utility value of it, but yeah, I have moved on since from it, but I still hold, and I'm very much an XRP loyalist. I've had that for 2 years, so we'll see what season 2 brings.
I'm with you right there in the XRP army. As soon as that SEC case gets resolved, I have very, very high hopes. But let's talk quickly about another. You said AMP did kind of get up to that 6-7 cents, and that's been petering out a little bit. But man, something that Noah hit. He's got like the crystal ball of all of us. That's Solana, baby. He hit that at $20. Is that right? $25 or something?
25. Yeah, I got it at 25.
What motivated that purchase? Do you remember what week that was in the race?
I think it was the 3rd week, and I had just read something about their transaction speed and how they were a smart contract platform, and it was going to be one of the options. And at that point I'd already owned a fair amount of Cardano. I'd owned Ethereum, of course, and actually one of my first purchases a long time ago, and I've been dollar cost averaging in, was Algorand. So Solana made sense to get in along with Polkadot, just to try to spread the love across all of the smart contract platforms. But that one was really low at that point, 27, 25, and then obviously the last 3 months have just been insane for that.
Bananas.
And if I can jump in, I will say, without going down in the weeds too much tonight on it, I think that the MoonBulls overall, between the three of us, the total portfolio, we're actually up about 51%. So that's not a terrible thing, and that's with the past few days. I think they knew that we were coming to start a new season, so that the market's kind of tanked a little bit accordingly. But the top performer actually is Sol. If we were to look back, it's actually made the most sense. And actually, I believe, Rob, one of your investments is actually the lowest performing asset of the group. So, but Jeff, and again, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Jeff, at this point, would be the clear-cut winner if we had extended that competition out. He really hit on a few that have done some really terrific things since we launched that.
I don't have the hardware to show for it, so
that's true. Where do you get the hardware? There it is, over Stu's left shoulder. That is the trophy of them all, pure zirconium. I'm sorry. What is fake gold called? It's real.
Pyrite.
Pyrite, yes. Anyway, bottom line is season 1 champion. That's in the books. That's history. That's forever. You can keep that and take it to your grave. I mean, that's something to be very proud of. However, we're going to be gunning for you. We're not sure when the next season's getting started. This is a special episode, right? We've been on a 3-month hiatus, and basically we've been texting furiously back and forth. It's a good segue to get into the sort of bigger segment of the show tonight, which is going to be talking about non-fungible tokens, NFTs. When that, started to trend and hit over the summer and the fall, we all started jumping in fun different ways. And I think that's been getting the bulk of our attention over the past, I'd say 2 or 3 months easily. And we're going to talk about all the different projects that we've gone in and kind of like take it in order, right? How did we get introduced to the NFT market? What was our introduction to that? What's the first project we each got into? And we each have, I think, some fun stories to share tonight about the different projects. And it's funny, it adds up fast. We're doing a little bit of show prep before this recording. I was like, how many projects are we invested in now? It must be upwards of 20 or so if you really spread them all out. So you just got to dip your toe in this space. Anybody out there that's thinking about it, just sitting on the sidelines watching, I can't encourage you enough to just jump in, have fun. You're going to learn the most by doing it. So let's just start off with the NFT space and then try to get a very, very top level understanding what we're talking about. Basically, digital property rights on the blockchain, and it really takes off primarily, at least initially, through works of art, digital artwork that can be minted, as they say, and issued on its unique space on the blockchain, so that it becomes a property right in the way that historically digital products or assets never had been able before. And that enables all sorts of exciting transformations in the way that people think about showing off the things that they own digitally. And I tell you, I first started hearing about this stuff in the spring of 2021 from Gary Vaynerchuk, a guy who I always thought was a very positive message, an interesting influencer, someone I followed and I've increasingly followed. He started to talk a lot about this and kind of get up in the spring, has some hype for his project called VeeFriends, which I have to admit, I was very skeptical at first. What is this guy doing? He's got these doodles and sketches, and they're about kind of basic attributes that he wants to advance in society, curiosity, patience, other things like that. And it just seemed interesting to me. What was most compelling is he wanted to drop a mint of tokens, NFT tokens, that would bring with them access to a conference. And again, this was a real, I would say, shot in the dark for someone like me. On drop day of VeeFriends, he had what's called a Dutch auction. He pushed out like 10,000 coins, all different attributes, different levels of rarity. I'm going in there for the lowest possible cost ones. I'm not loaded. I'm like, let me just see if I can snag 1 or 2 of these guys. And honestly, it was a Dutch auction, which means they start at a certain price and then they slowly go down over time to a floor. And you could tell those entry coins, the basic coins, were just, people were waiting until 0.5 ETH. That was the lowest they would go, and then they'd snag them as quick as possible. There was an enormous amount of competition to get these things initially. And I was clicking on my button on my mouse, click, 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 I ended up buying 4, almost, I did get 3 intentionally. I thought maybe the buy guys or someone, we could make a trek out to VCon without even knowing what that was at the time. But I actually got 4 by accident. And that might've been the best accident I've ever made, because those suckers have really, really just accrued in value. And what's more interesting to me, obviously I could have flipped them by now, and I haven't. It's that they have access to a guy who I'm starting to really believe in. Could be, I know this sounds a little silly, but to some people, I don't doubt it. He could be the kind of Walt Disney of our era, such that we're going to have a VeeFriends theme park. We're going to have VeeFriends movies. We're going to have VeeFriends cartoons, sweatshirts, everything you can imagine. And I see that happening. I sense this guy's commitment is thorough and complete. Every time I hear him talk on his podcast about VeeFriends, he's like, this is the only thing that matters to him. Everything else can fade away. This is something that's for life. And so I'm excited. I could be like on the ground floor with like Steamboat Willie type property here. So we'll see, man. But anyway, so I got into that. And the conference is coming up in the spring. Who knows if we'll actually get to attend that or not. I have access, and that's kind of a neat attribute, kind of a quality, bridging the digital world and the physical world, right? So you can trade and try to collect and and barter with those different tokens. But ultimately, there is a value that is you have access to this conference. Only the token holders can go. Doesn't matter who you are in the world. If you don't own one of those tokens, you don't get access. And what's this conference going to be like? It's going to have all sorts of focus on business, entrepreneurship, innovation. There's going to be a whole section on non-fungible tokens. NFTs going to feature tons of artists and emerging projects, which I think will be remarkable. There's the homepage to it. You can see some of this. Check it out, VeeFriends.com. And just check out Gary Vaynerchuk as an influencer, as a personality. He's not for everyone. I'll be the first to admit that, but I'm a big fan. I mean, he's in my podcast queue. And will be for quite some time. Oh, then I'll just say, very side note here, I did ape into the book project that's come out, and I have about 48 books heading my in the mail coming to me in the near future. Why 48 books? Well, he did a promotion that every 12 books that you purchase, you get one free NFT. At the time, we don't even know what that's going to be, and right now we don't even know what that's going to be. We're gonna have to wait and see. I think in another couple of weeks, it's all going to come to fruition. There's a lot of speculation now. He's hinted it's going to be a game of some kind. I don't even know where it's going, but I'm excited about it. And I have 48 Gary V books.
I don't know if now's the appropriate time to ask, Rob, but can I have 12 books?
You can have all the books. Except the one I want to read. I'm going to actually, there's something interesting there because so many people, bought into this project, probably just to get the token. The question is, what do you do with all those books? And I think part of the game might be, what's the most creative way you can be charitable and give these books to others? I'm going to mail one to each of my brothers here, man, for sure. You guys are going to get a copy of this. And then I might go around to some of those little, what do we call those? The little free mail,
like the neighborhood library stands.
I might be populating those around my neighborhood, taking some snaps, putting them up on Twitter or something, in case some kids here want to start up a lemonade stand and get going on their entrepreneurial dreams. So I don't know what else. Maybe my local library, maybe some family members who I think would benefit. I just think his message is extraordinary. And again, check him out. I'm a huge fan, and I'm really curious. Access to this conference for 3 years. That kind of was what put me over the edge. When I was dropping this, ETH was what, back to maybe $3,000 in ETH at the time. That's a lot of money. I was like, do I really want to invest in this? Well, think about it. For 3 years, I'll get to go. I'll have tickets to this conference. I could take friends, or I could maybe take some work colleagues or something like that. Or maybe in the worst case scenario, I could sell them in some way. And I don't know, if this first conference goes extraordinarily well, maybe the future ones become even more of an exclusive thing where people really want to go. So who knows, man? Who knows where this project's headed? But I think it's a blue chip.
It's
NFT
a great example,
project.
and the early example of utility being built in. That's I think that was the aha moment for me when you started to describe
it's
really
really
have utility beyond the art.
It's a great point, because I think one of the biggest media hits back in, I want to say May, maybe it was right around the time of VeeFriends, maybe even a little bit before it. Beeple, I've never even heard of this guy. I don't know digital art. It's not my space. Have you guys heard of Beeple? He sold something at Sotheby's, like a collection of digital art for $50 million or something. I don't know. It was an NFT project, essentially. That really got a big splash in the news, and then it kind of faded away. Anyway, yeah, I think bridging that digital physical divide, and one of the other projects we're going to talk about later tonight does that in a pretty exciting way, and that's Stu's project. We're going to tease that for the moment, but brace yourselves, it's very good. So I get into VeeFriends, I'm curious about it, but most of the summer we're talking about crypto. We're doing the MoonBulls, it's going well. I heard about a second project. I don't even know where I hear about these things, by the way. Reddit, Twitter, who knows, Discord. I caught wind of it, and it struck my curiosity. The name alone was fascinating. It's called CryptoZoo. And there was an egg drop. The NFT drop was the crypto egg drop. This was, I want to say, in July. I think it's July or August of this year.
Yeah, it was August.
And it was one of those things where you got to be logged on at a certain time. It's going to happen. And it's first come, first serve. And you got to use this link and attach your MetaMask wallet. And I mean, I, at that point, didn't really know how to use MetaMask. I barely knew how to do it, set it up for Gary V. I told these guys, look, fellas, let's get into this space. And they were extraordinarily skeptical, as they should be. What are you talking about? You want us to spend all this ETH that we've been purchasing, like with our real dollars, and we're just going to like ape into some crazy game project? I said, well, yeah, but Logan Paul's involved. I don't know much about this guy, but apparently he has millions of followers. He's very influential. It's going to take off. It's the next Pokemon. I'm like the #1 shill here. And I think this was something where it was a bridge too far initially for Stu, which is funny because now I think among us, he might be the most aggressive NFTer of all. But initially he's like, MetaMask, I don't know how to do that stuff. And it was all very time sensitive. It was like, the drop's happening tonight. Come on, guys. I was like texting, please get up.
We're like, what is a drop?
And Jeff is like, Raff, I got dinner with my family and friends tonight. And I was like, I don't care. You got to prioritize, brother. So I was out at some, little weekend retreat, and my wife's looking at me. I'm on my phone. What are you doing? Like, I'm getting eggs, man. Anyway, I remember so I said, look, Noah, I'm bearing all the risk on this. I just need you to help me out because I think it's gonna be really hard to get one of these eggs. I'm gonna blast you. I'm gonna like send you an ETH, but you got to set up a MetaMask wallet. What's MetaMask? I don't know. Somehow you set up your MetaMask wallet. And this is back in the day. I get a little bit of pucker when I try to send crypto, don't we all? But this is when I'm like, I'm going to send you like 0.0001 ETH just to confirm that it gets through. And the gas fees cost like $100 just to send you $5. Like, what's happening here? Okay. Bottom line is Jeff gets the ETH. We're all in. It's like 7:00 drop or whatever time it was, 8:00. And then the whole website's completely jammed up. No one can get through. No one's buying eggs. It's a disaster. And we just gave up. I think at a certain point, we did have a phone call. You handed me off. You were probably about 3 bottles of wine in at your table there. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm helping a friend get some eggs, man. Come on. Digital eggs. Haven't you heard?
You should see the people at my dinner party that were, I was trying to tell the story of what I'm doing while I'm distracted, trying to buy CryptoZoo eggs for my good friend.
Now, here's the thing. I didn't get any eggs that night, but Jeff thought he got one. And I think like at 2 a.m, he called me, Raff, I got one, dude. I was walking home and I logged into OpenSea and I got one. And I was ecstatic. And I went to sleep with like, visions of sugar plum fairies or whatever. I was happy as a clam. And then I woke up the next day. I was like, there's no way he got one, man. He must've got scammed. Lo and behold, Noah. How much did you pay for that? Was it like 0.2 ETH or something?
It was around $200 worth of Ethereum. And it looked very much like what you see on the screen. It was in OpenSea. So I'd never been to OpenSea before. Just assumed that what you can buy saying CryptoZoo, looking the same, graphics, same picture, same project. There was a slight, instead of CryptoZoo.co, it was CryptoZoo space .co, and it was a fake. It was a scam. So
the Fugazi.
I got scammed my first NFT.
Yeah, and that was a great lesson, man. And that's how you learn in this space. Even that you make mistakes and they're a little costly, but you make up for it later. Hopefully, that's the way it works. But yeah, and I was like, dang, that's too bad. So that day on OpenSea, a lot of eggs were posted, and I was like, I want some eggs, bro. I need these eggs. I was really just jonesing for CryptoZoo eggs. I started to get 1. I started to get 2. I started to get 3. I'm embarrassed to tell you, I purchased a lot of CryptoZoo eggs, and they're sitting in my OpenSea wallet, waiting to be hatched. The project, it's kind of going through fits and starts. That's the OpenSea page. Nothing. They have hatched some eggs yet, but they have half of the eggs are on Ethereum chain. Half of them are on Binance. I don't quite understand what's going on. I don't want to say the project's
why are these? What is the purpose of these?
So this is the intro. So the game is every egg has within it an animal of some kind with some level of rarity that's attributed to it. So like, there you go up at the top. Now those are the hybrids, right? So ultimately what we're going to do is first you start out with the base level animals that are in these sort of series 1 eggs. I want to say there's 10,000 eggs total, something like this. So it's a limited supply. The eggs are like, sharks or panda bears or ducks or other things. They have different levels of rarity assigned to them. So when you hatch your egg, it's randomly attached. You get some type of creature. And then you can mate your egg with another, or mate your creature with another creature, and you create these hybrid animals like a litten, which is a lion and a kitten, or the elephant butterfly, I don't know, elefly, whatever they call them. The panda bear and the cat over there on the left. I don't know what the names of these things are. The ape fly or ape. Each of these kind of hybrid animals. This is where I start sounding like a person who's just lunatic in an insane asylum. But each of these hybrid animals has some level of rarity attached to it that generates a yield of zoo token, which is a particular coin that is, I would say, almost next to worthless at the moment. And they might, but you might get like, I don't know, 2,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 zoo token a day for owning a hybrid animal. And then at a certain point, you want to release that hybrid animal into the wild. You burn the token, that is, you burn the asset to accumulate the yield. It's going to just open up all sorts of gamification.
Well, where does the game play out, Rob? I mean, that's where I don't.
If you go back to the site, Jeff, you could, it's not quite there yet, but there's going to be on the left-hand side, you'll see maybe it's called the market. Now, and it's not really set up yet. They're going to have a lot of trading and exchanging of assets. People are going to try to collect the rarest of rare animals and breed them and see what sort of super rare hybrid creature you'll get. Allegedly, there's going to be a video game application of this. There's all sorts of other intellectual property in development. And I think it has potential as a concept. I'm not sure about the execution so far, but I'm in this for the long haul. I'm down probably 90%. If you think of it as an investment, I'm definitely like losing, but I've had fun, and it's still very early. It's still very early. Like, dude, this thing just was created like in August, and give it another year or two, it could be Pokemon Part 2. So who knows? I'm probably not going to hatch anything at this point. My strategy is just to hodl the eggs, because I think it's kind of like having an unopened pack of baseball cards when you're a kid. You don't know what's in there. So that might make it more valuable to the market. Who knows? But that's CryptoZoo. That was a fun story, and that's the story of CryptoZoo. But then, what's next on the list, fellas? Then Jeff, you can tell us a little bit about this project. How'd you get on this one, man?
Well, you like the first project you introduced. I don't even know where you learned about Alienoids. It was an NFT drop in late August, and I was fresh off of the scam experience. I needed redemption, so I'm like, the first drop I get a chance to get in, to snag something at the ground floor. I don't care what it is. I knew nothing about this project, and I come to find out it's actually a pretty ambitious universe that they're trying to create in the alienoid humanoid universe. There's a lot of people in the Discord, which later came to find out what Discord even was, to learn about this whole Discord community. And you get to see, there's 7,000 or 8,000 people as part of this community. So, fresh off of the scam, I needed to get back and actually learn how to do this stuff. So connected a wallet for the first time, got into a website, the alienoid.com website, actually got a mint, a one-of-one mint, and got the experience of getting something in your wallet. It's just a placeholder, trying to figure out when the heck is the real image going to show up, because this is just a placeholder. Did I get scammed again? I called Raff the same day and said, oh my God, did I do this right? I had no idea what I was doing. Zero. Obviously. It
was hilarious. You call me at work in the middle of the day. You're like, Raffy, I just got an alienoid. I was like, what are you talking about, man? And it's like, no, alienoids. Because I'd kicked around the links and stuff. Like, hey, maybe we should buy this. So you aped, and I was like, I was psyched for you. Then you're like, oh, is it fake? Do you think it's fake? I was like, dude, I have no idea. I spent like half an hour in the middle of the day trying to figure out, was this real? What is this project? But look, man, this is cool.
Do you have any alienoids, Rob?
What's that?
Did you get in on the alienoid?
I missed it. I missed my chance. Although I didn't, because it seems like there's some I could mint right now. So it's a great example of just understanding how it works, because it's confusing. All right. So it's a roadmap. Here's alienoids. It's artwork project. Scroll down a little bit. Okay. So there's 534 minted, right? Or something. If you scroll up just a tad. There was you could mint some right now if you connected your wallet for 0.05 ETH plus gas, which is probably like a freaking ETH character at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first mint was out of 10,000. I think you got a pretty low number, right? You were like in the under 1,000, maybe, or 2,000. I don't know. Where are you?
I don't even remember. It's less than 1,000 because I don't think 1,000 have been minted yet.
Yeah. I'm sorry I missed that one, but I think this is when I was just starting to figure out how to build out the wallets and so forth. So I'm sorry I missed that project as well.
Oh,
so we had progressed from we'll move on, but we had progressed to a whole new universe of NFTs. Now that we had all had some skin in the game, I think Stu, this was your first project.
This was my first. Yeah. I missed out on the eggs and the aliens, but I stuck to Major League Baseball and felt like there was a little bit more there. And, so this was, for me personally, the candy was kind of the first introduction, specifically the stadiums.
So kind of our journey here is, obviously Raff has been further along than both Stu and I. I'd stubbed my toe a couple of times on the first project and, aped into Alienoids to finally come to the realization that there's got to be other projects within this space that resonate more with me. Personally, I just, it was hard time relating to an art driven project and I couldn't get my arms wrapped around, but a brand like Major League Baseball, which now we're talking, like this is something that absolutely resonates with all of us. We're all Pirate fans, we're all Steeler and Penguin fans. We follow Major League sports heavily. And when we heard that Candy Digital was going to have exclusive rights to Major League Baseball NFTs, that got everybody interested in a different way, and I think on a different level. So, just to touch on this project, Stu's first. This is the Stadium Series, basically origin series for Major League Baseball NFTs that, and I forget the artist's name. We'll have to give him credit at some point, but this artist had done minimalist art on all 32 ballparks, all 32 ballparks that capture the essence of each ballpark. And there are different levels of numbers of mint for each ballpark. For example, PNC Park, one of our faves, has 277, where Tropicana Field, for example, I think has 151, so very low number. And then you can see all of the different stadiums here on the marketplace. So we all have jumped into various stadiums within the Candy Digital Stadium Series, and we feel pretty good about this one, obviously long term. So Stu, do you want to talk? What do you have here?
Oh, I think you said it well. And that's kind of the part now is I find myself occasionally going on here just trying to find maybe someone that's looking for a little liquidity, trying to sell and maybe throwing a deal out there. But I think combined we probably have most of the National League wrapped up, and I know we have some American League teams. But this has been fun. I think going through, especially the timing. Obviously, they know what they're doing. They launched this around the World Series time, so there was a lot of eyeballs on it. But I continue to look for this to be one of those examples that you folks referenced earlier about the building out of utility and how they come in behind it for folks like us that are holding these stadiums. What type of perks might we be able to enjoy later down the road for holding PNC Park or Progressive Field or whatever it is we own. So that's where I'm probably most excited. I enjoy the art, but I also look and think, okay, what might holding this do for us later down the road?
Yeah, maybe I kick it back over to Raff after a comment here. This is where the whole magic of smart contracts, at least for me, really clicked, when you can start applying real world experiences and real world merchandise and ownership into an NFT through a smart contract. So for example, if one owns Dodger Stadium, this could be back end built in access to one ballpark or one game per year. Maybe they build a club, a suite dedicated to Candy Digital NFT owners. You can pass this down in perpetuity to you. Maybe I pass the PNC Park down to my kids, and their kids, and they have access to the same rights. And this obviously builds the value of this NFT down the road. So that's the exciting thing to me. It made it stick, where some of the previous projects are a little harder for me to get my mind wrapped around personally. This one's very clear. Ticket ownership, merchandise, baseball team, been around 100 years, makes sense.
Right.
I think the interesting thing is, and I'm not as familiar with this, I know you guys are big into this, and I've gotten into it as well for PNC and a few of the more iconic stadiums.
You own Yankee Stadium.
That's true. I like Yankee. I saw a real good deal on Yankee. I got a really low cost Yankee. I got a Wrigley. I think I have a Wrigley, Yankee, and a PNC. And the Wrigley and Yankee, they're going to be gone as soon as they, I don't know, get to a reasonable yield of profit. Because I'm just not a long-term hodler on stadiums that I don't. And here's the thing: I have brand loyalty to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's about it.
That's it. Yeah.
So I know that there are a lot of Yankee fans out there, and once people get more acclimated to this market, I do think this is kind of like an OG baseball project. It's going to have, I think, a lot of value, the way that some of the earliest baseball cards have value to baseball card collectors.
And I think you're going to tie it in, Jeff and Rob, to the next one that we got into, right? With Candy specifically, and kind of the I think, I don't want to jump the gun, but when we started to buy some things and look how maybe these two kind of things are going to marry one another at some point, potentially down the road, and how you might bundle things up and so forth. But this was there's a lot here for us for sure. So I'll turn it over to you guys. But this is where I really started probably getting the most excited and spent a lot of my days kind of on this site.
Well, it's not shown here, but yeah, go ahead, Raff. Sorry.
I just want to say, just about the time you guys were getting the stadiums, I heard a Gary V promotion. So I've been listening to Gary V. I'm on his Discord all the time. I'm listening, following his tweet. I saw him tweet something about, hey guys, check out Candy Digital, get early access to their card drop. Whenever I hear those terms, magic words like whitelist, early access, it's like, ooh. And of course, Gary V to me brings a lot of credibility. So I kind of said, hey guys, sign up for Discord, or like get on his Discord page. You don't even know what we're doing. That might've been when I first really got on the Discord, honestly. And you sign up and and that's a confusing platform for a 46-year-old man. I mean, I'm still figuring out, it beeps at me all the time. Like, what the heck's going on? Anyway, we got in there. And then I guess we allegedly had early access to the drop of the All-Star cards. There were two drops. There was All-Star.
The icon packs, yeah.
Yeah, you guys talk more about it. You actually know a lot more about than I do.
Well, I just know I got shut out of the initial drop, and I was very discouraged because I thought I had that white list, wrapped up, and I was excited, and we knew that Jeff didn't make that initial cut, so we still thought, well, listen, we can, between Rob and I, we can get in there and we can grab some of these on that early drop, and I go to get in, and I don't even have access, even though it's saying in the Discord I do. So we just relied on you, Rob, to get us some packs, and you came through on that first day.
I remember it launched around like at 10 o'clock in the morning or something. And I logged on and it said I was in line. I've been waiting for 2 minutes. Then I was going to be in line for 5 minutes. Then I was going to be in line for 23 minutes. And I was like, or something like, it was very bizarre. And I didn't touch it. I left it open. I think a lot of people probably would have got discouraged and just gave up, and maybe a lot did. And I'm not kidding. It might've been like half an hour later. Actually, my memory is false on this. As with many memories, they fade, they evolve with time. I think I might have opened like 30 different windows on my desktop and had all of them at different levels but they were all the same amount of time waiting. I don't know if I got in, it was like a glitch in the matrix or whatever. The bottom line is, at a certain point, it opened up. It said, hey, you want to order? I said, yes. And then it kept letting me reorder. And I just kept clicking. I'm ordering as many packs as I can possibly get. $50, I think. No, 25 or $50 a pack. $50, I think.
It was
50.
50,
I think I got $500. That's not a small amount of money for me. I just knew that these guys were good for it and they would want them, and we were going to split them. There was like, all for one, one for all, the buy guys, Three Musketeers ethos here. And so I said, hey, we'll divide these. But we were texting back and forth. I'm on hold. I'm in line. Jeff wasn't even able to put a bid in. Anyway, the bottom line is I got 10 of that first drop, which was pretty sweet. And then there was another one after that. but you're only allowed to get a certain number on that, right? 3 maybe. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
No, you can. It was still unlimited at that point. The only when the uncut diamonds, they finally got wise to guys like you, Rob, that were able to grab up a lot. So they cut it back to just 1 per wallet essentially. But that second day, you weren't available, so it kind of fell to Jeff and I.
That's right.
In the open market,
the public drop.
I was able to get 3, and Jeff was able to get 2. So combined, we have the 15 that we thought, well, between the 3 of us, now we're sitting on 5 packs each, and then the very next, drop with the uncut, we were each able to get 1. So that was kind of the baseball card piece. But what we have there with the trophies and the medallions and the plays of the day, obviously with the World Series going on, we thought, okay, we got these stadiums over here. I at the time had Minute Maid with the Astros, and Jeff had the Truist with the Braves, and so we're buying these plays of the day for $25 a pop. Trying to get the low serials on those, right? And I think I collected all 6 just because I thought, well, okay, I'll have every one. But I think Jeff, I don't want to speak for you there, but I think you went all in on the Braves. You weren't interested in purchasing any.
I did, and it's kind of I'll just give the example maybe to take a step back because I think we can all relate to it. We all collected baseball cards growing up. Children of the 90s and late 80s, and the nostalgia of digital baseball cards getting in from the very start of it, which is a month in, right around the World Series, in a series of baseball packs. Keep the pack closed if you don't want to open it, sell the pack potentially later, or open it, see what's in it, get excited about it, get a rare card, get one that you got doubles of that you want to try to give to your buddy. Like, that whole experience is part of this project digitally. And then as you can see on the screen here, what's also very much like NBA Top Shots, digital candy has these play of the day. So they do a highlight, package it up in an NFT, and they release it 1 per day. And they happen to be doing this for the World Series. So we were buying the plays of the World Series, the first NFT drop, in hopes, and we all have it, a full pack of World Series play of the days that someday will probably be worth something to somebody who wants, all of the live plays, the highlights from the World Series. And, those don't exist prior to the last month. So, this nostalgia of collecting baseball cards through this platform. And oh, by the way, the marketplace isn't even open for this yet. It opens in mid-January, where all of these assets, packs, unopened packs that are open, all the cards inside, the digital plays, the trophies, the pendants, all the things that were for sale the last 2 months can now hit the marketplace and start to be traded. You can trade your cards digitally, just like you did with your buddy, in the living room in 1991. So
that's the deal, by the way, though. The deal, by the way, is we don't know what we have in our packs.
Right.
And there's a lot of disputes.
I'm sure that's for a later episode,
That's going to be a special edition of Buy Eyes. If we ever open packs, we're going to record it live as it happens in real time.
Yep.
And we had to actually come up with some really defined rules. Because listen, there's interesting thing about community property. 15 packs. What if one of those has one of the most rare, which I think they're guessing the price of that would be like 20 grand or 10 grand or something, right? Something. Is that what they're guessing at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
5
figures. Yeah.
Okay. So do you hodl that between the 3 of us who owns it? This is going to be very interesting little like rules and regulations. And I'm going to lawyer up and never talk to these guys again once I get the epic super rare, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's the problem, Jeff, with having a lawyer on our panel of folks.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's fascinating. It's going to be a fun episode. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait. And
all right,
but in my opinion, I would never, I don't want to open anything. I just don't, but I also kind of do. Anyway, let me say one more kind of cool thing. This is my ultimate revenge fantasy as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, as a young man who cried to sleep after Game 7 of the 1991 or 92 National League Championship Series with Sid Bream, the traitor, hobbling home after that God, Stan Belinda was throwing strikes after strikes, and they're just calling balls. And then Francisco Cabrera comes out of nowhere, and it's like a nightmare that will never end. So I don't really like the Braves. I think that I've never wanted them to succeed at anything, but then they win the World Series the first year these digital pieces are minted. I'm sitting there buying all these Atlanta Braves plays of the day. I actually aped in. This is a horrific thing to do. It's embarrassing. I bought the stupid little coin up there. I bought the trophy. I got everything. So here's what's going to happen though. Maybe not. I just think there's going to be some little young punk Atlanta fan who's ripped, and maybe his dad's 45 years old and good for him, right? And he wants to make his boy the happiest he can ever be. You got to buy all these assets. You got to buy all the plays of the days. You got to buy my Truist Park, and you got to buy some of these Atlanta players, the All-Star and the rookie. I'm packaging that all together. It's your ultimate Christmas Atlanta Braves sports package. It's yours for the very limited price of 10 ETH. If I could get revenge on somebody, Daddy, you got to get this for me, or you don't love me. And I just play on the heartstrings. That's right. Don't you love your children down there in Atlanta? Don't you want to give them everything to make them happy? If you don't want to pay out the nose for this, you don't really love your children in Atlanta. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can really make a mint off this somehow in the near future. I really don't want these things there. It's painful that I even own them at the moment, frankly. That's my plan. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat. Maybe you're long-term hodlers on it, but the other thing is Jeff said something very interesting. I know we're going down some rabbit holes here, but we have no time constraints. The point is, yes, these are original and the first of its kind digital replay assets. But people will say, and of course I used to say, and I still kind of do on some level, hey man, if I want to see the play of the day from 11/2/21, I just Google that on YouTube and it comes right up for free. I don't have to own it. I don't have to pay for it. So this is where there's going to be a bit of a convergence, or not convergence, a divergence. I don't know. There's different opinions, perspectives, right? And I think as time marches on, the value of digital assets will increase and grow because that's what sort of digital natives experience and value. I don't have children, both of you guys do, and I think you can see this firsthand. They're already in Roblox and whatever, and they're like buying skins and this and that. Digital assets are real assets, right? To us, it's still a little weird that I'm paying money for basically a YouTube highlight. But I kind of get it because it's a limited supply. You want to show off to your friends and prove that you're the most dedicated Braves fan. So yeah, I mean, part of me gets it. I still think I'm not quite there. I think in 10, 15, 20 years, this is just like the dominant form of collecting for sports. So we're on the ground floor. Absolutely. And maybe your kids and grandkids will be like these like the Honus Wagners for their era. You know what I mean? Thanks, Grandpa. You put that in a shoebox under your.
It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah. All right. So what's the next project we got onto after the Candy Digital base?
All right, guys, buckle up here because we're about to mix coffee and NFTs together. I don't know how, but I'm going to turn this one over.
No, this is exciting. I think when we talk about physical, things. I'm even representing. I mean, kind of this site and just this opportunity, this project. I got excited about it. It was one of those evenings, honest to goodness, where Rob and I might have been just texting back and forth after midnight, and so I was just up and I was looking up top NFT type projects, and I stumbled upon this, and I read an article on it, and I thought, how fantastic is the idea? And you can something like the world's first NFT funded cafe, and then right there, Jeff. I mean, if you scroll down just a second, or up rather now, scroll up.
Crypto Baristas, baby.
There. I mean, there it is. I mean, the goal is to build a community of folks around this project. To where these two brothers and then a very talented artist, the three have combined to kind of create this project to where the long-term goal is to build a cafe. In season one, the goal is to have that operating somewhere in New York City. And these brothers already kind of have, a business, uh, and they've launched this out, and to me, it's just one of those where it brings these two different worlds together, and so I'm excited to support it. Actually, I know Rob has kind of thrown his support behind it as well as a founding barista. He purchased actually that Tony, the little guy in the green off to the left. He might have been the very first or second person to purchase an NFT for the crypto baristas. So again, you can see the artwork, and they release a set of 3 characters each week. Again, Jeff, you scroll up a little. They drop a barista, they drop a master barista, and then every few weeks they're going to drop a world barista for folks to bid. And it's very low mint. You can see that they don't mint a lot of them, and but the ones they have up into week 4 here already, they've all sold out. And I'm not trying to act like some OG of this project, but I was the 23rd person to join their Discord, and in just a few weeks they've already climbed over 4,000. So the word's out there. They're doing a fantastic job, in my opinion, of kind of having a presence on Twitter and in the Discord. They're unbelievably transparent, very responsive to any questions that new folks to that Discord have. And again, it's just kind of it's fun to follow along when you read. Not only do you see this fantastic artwork, but when you read the stories that they've come in behind it with, it's enjoyable, and I like very much the idea of this NFT funded cafe. And I think they're talking about how they can add value to it, whether it's the caffeine perks where you can get a percentage off of the merchandise, like this hoodie that I got 20% off simply by being a member there, or whether it's voting rights that Rob and I both have as kind of founding baristas, where we're able to kind of offer insight into how this project goes moving forward. And 15% of all funds from season 1, we're going to have a say in how those dollars are allocated. And I like that. Now, I mean, there's certain parameters which we'd operate within, but yeah, I'm just excited, and they're already giving back, into different charities that I can support and say, yeah, that's fantastic to be a part of that. So again, it's just not hard to tell. I'm excited about being a part of this. I look forward to seeing where it goes years from now. I mean, they've already, had some partnerships that are exciting. In terms of the metaverse, I don't know if we'll get into Sandbox and all of that tonight, but very much that Roblox and Mimecast for adults. That's what I've been calling it. But they're starting to establish a presence there, and so I think the future is bright. And again, I just enjoy it because it's easy to appreciate what these two entrepreneurs are looking to do, and so I do. Again, there's my soapbox for crypto baristas. I'd encourage all of you to continue to look into it and follow them.
I'm super grateful that you introduced me to it, Stu, and basically said, hey, they got some minting today, Raff, you should hop on it. I looked at it, I said, it's pretty reasonably priced. I like the idea of it. I don't know anything about the business plan per se, and I'm not a business guy. I didn't get my MBA like Stu, so I'm not really a business mindset, but I like the idea of it. And it's something where I'm like, yeah, I want to support it. I want to get behind it. I want to give them a shot and do what I can to help. And, it's also fun to say, yeah, I'm a part of the caffeine club. I'm the #1 Tony barista. That's pretty cool. And as a small signal of that things are kind of kicking up a little bit, I just got coincidentally, it's right before the show started tonight. I got a bid on that Tony. I think I paid 0.1 ETH for him. And now I just got a bid on Rarible, and I'm not even putting this guy up for sale. He's just there. People see him, they want him because he's #1 of however many. And it's like, oh, 0.3. Wow. I could 3x my investment on this and walk. But why on earth would I do that? Because I
can't do it. You're founding barista.
Man, I'm in the caffeine club. I still have to register my character, by the way. I got to do that. I was going to do it in real time on the show, but I didn't prepare accordingly. But the bottom line is, fun project, innovative, new,
Yeah.
different. Like if you're looking for, again, a bridge between digital and physical world, is it going to work? How's it going to actually, play out in real life? We're going to find out in real time. It's going to be fun to see. But as you look at these characters, and I start thinking, to the extent you get a community of creative and excited and like open and engaged people supporting a project like this. Look, I'm in an MFA program right now, part-time for writing and for screen and stage. Wouldn't it be fun to have like bring these characters to life, do some comics with them, do some animation? You can imagine all sorts of applications. The artwork is just the tip of the iceberg. So I think it's cool. I mean, hey, Stu, let's lift up your sweater there. You're repping the merch.
Yeah. Well, and in the back, so some of the artwork, actually, just the Crypto Baristas logo. But no, thanks for allowing me to talk about it. And again, we'll see where it goes, and I hope to continue to follow along and play just a very small role in supporting their project. But
we can't get Noah in on this. It's a bridge too far. He's like, no, I want more baseball cards, man. I'm more baseball. And that's cool. Here's the other thing I should say. I don't drink coffee hardly. I mean, I do drink bad coffee. I don't drink good coffee. So maybe by getting this, I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to learn. I'm going to get a little bit better. I mean, I'm more like a Sanka, Maxwell House.
Oh man, see, that to me is a tragedy. I love coffee. I love espresso. I have an espresso machine. I drink coffee every morning. I fresh grind it. I'm all in. So
you're allowed to join the Discord, Jeff, and learn. They're
I'm actually in the Discord.
Stu's all over the Discord, man.
I'm not invested yet. That's
no, I mean, you're throwing your support behind it, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. But
yeah,
it
seems like a cool project. I keep coming back to this, whether I'm in this one or not. Again, I think you guys are seeing a theme of utility. No matter where the project is, what corner of the NFT space it's in, most, if not all, of the things we've talked about tonight so far, and we'll continue to talk about for the last 2 or 3, have utility tied to each one, to where it's not just an image. That was the one thing I had to get over. So if I'm stressing that as a beginner, there was a light bulb that went off to say, if you own one of these, you're going to have an investment in this community, not only online virtually, but and they're trying to fund a real cafe that you can visit in New York City and walk in. And I noticed that it also says caffeinated perks for life at all future cafe spaces and websites. I'm also thinking that if there's a crypto barista cafe in the metaverse 2-3 years from now, you're probably going to have access to whatever comes with access to that.
Sure.
To that space.
It's happening. I mean, they've one of the partnerships that they've had already, Jeff, is with the properties, and they operate on Sandbox, and that's exactly that point. So no, you're spot on, and it's happening. And so they've talked about not only the New York City cafe, but down the road, allowing cafes to pop up all over the country. So I think they're trying to be cautiously optimistic about their growth, but they're certainly excited about what the future might hold.
I like it.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
There we go. Crypto Baristas. Oh, now we're moving on.
Let's tighten up the last couple here, because I know the folks are waiting for the tail end of the show here.
Sorry, it's getting. We're gonna zip through this one. This is a big one though, because it actually is the first time all 3 of us got our whitelist pass. So backing up a little bit for those who are kind of new to the space, getting whitelisted means you get early access to a project's mint drop, and that can be extraordinarily important if it's going to be a project that's in great demand, which I believe Alpha Girl Club has potential to be. I picked up on it early days. I even rallied a crew of friends, and we're kind of like in the Discord channel, probably among the first couple hundred, under 1,000, I'm certain, when we first got in on it. Now it's pumping up pretty high. So I've been rounding people to this project. Again, talk about real world utility. It's focused on female empowerment, mental health, and anybody who owns one of these tokens is going to have access to a mental health app, They have a pretty impressive roadmap. The art is kind of unique and original. I think, Jeff, you said your wife was like, hey, that's kind of cool. I want to get one of these for her, because she kind of bringing someone new into the space. What is an NFT? Oh, this is kind of neat. I'd like to have one of those and be able to show it off to friends at work or whatever. So the good news is, through all of our efforts to get to promote and to connect and like really support this project, all three of us are on the whitelist. You can buy, I think, up to 3 tokens when they drop in early December, and we are geared up and ready to go. There's no guarantee, of course. There's going to be a lot of people lined up gunning for these bad boys, but they're going to be, it's a great community. I've been in there in the Discord for a month now, and I'm having a good time with it. It's also got a lot of backstory and some fascinating like potential in terms of, you know, I don't know, man, metaverse applications and things. This is, again, one of the, I think it could be a blue chip project in the next year or so. Oh, there's like also ability to get trips to Tokyo and other stuff. It's interesting. Like I said, bridging the digital and the physical worlds. It's experimental. It's unique. The art's cool. The creators of the project seem extraordinarily sophisticated and intentional in what they're doing. So I have high upside for this, and I'm a long-term hodler on it if I can get it. So we're in the whitelist. Fingers crossed we hit that when it comes out, and it's definitely a project to watch.
Yeah, this one to me seems like a serious application of art and purpose and a cause, and you know, it's something that in the arts is, you know, interesting and serious as well. I mean, I think it's, like I said, I showed my wife a couple of these images, and this is just, you know, 4 of 10,000 of a similar style of image, but with a lot of variation. It just, you know, she thought it was really cool looking and didn't know a whole lot about the backstory. And when I told her about it, she became even more interested. So, you know, a neat community.
Sky's the limit. I'm excited to get in on it. And that's one of the first ones that I've been on the ground floor, right? That's kind of the fun part here, bringing some colleagues and friends along for the ride. And I other than you guys, they brought in a few other people. Hey, let's learn about NFTs, join this Discord, get connected. I think they've been playing around in there too. So it's been a good experience for sure.
Yeah, let me, and thanks, Raff. That's a great, you know, wrap up, and just maybe moving on to the next project. I'll transition if I can to where all of the things we've purchased so far, even from the earliest projects, have been on the Ethereum network, right? Everything's been Ethereum based on OpenSea. And now at this stage of our NFT purchasing, I actually understand what that means. I think Stu does as well. But after getting whitelisted for Alpha Girls, we then decided, and I'm going to kick this to Raff to talk about maybe a less serious project.
That's right.
But it's a game. I knew nothing about this. This is one that we all kind of aped into together. But the learning experience here beyond buying the NFTs was we were now in a different blockchain ecosystem. So this is under the Cardano ecosystem. Dan from Digital Asset, or Rob from Digital Asset News, had initially shilled this project or made us aware of it, and Rob on the line here, Raff, brought it to our attention. So we all just decided to jump in. We had to link a new wallet, Yoroi, whatever the name of that wallet is that we signed up for the first time, figured out how to buy something on the blockchain. I actually sold my first Wild Warrior NFT yesterday after I took a loss on it, but I learned how to do it, learned how to sell it, had to figure out, you know, that whole process, and now I know how to do it. So, Raff, do you want to mention anything about this one?
I just can't emphasize enough what you're saying is like the importance of just getting in, playing around, take a little bit of money, you know, if you have some, always expecting to lose.
That's it.
Right. I mean, but you know, get in and dip your toe in. And this was a project where you could do that. And to be candid, if you think about it, we've been in Cardano ADA purchasing, I don't know, since Buy Guys back in the early summer. That stuff elevated in value. So it was nice to have, you know, not an insignificant number, not a ton, but we're not like ADA whales over here, but we had some to play around with. I said, look, man, they were packaging these for, you know, 200 a bundle. I got a couple of those. I don't know what I was thinking. I opened them up. I got a couple. Now, again, the level of sophistication here is fascinating in terms of a game. They all, if you look at their arms there, you can see they each have different ranks in an army. There's like the hippo army, or there's the rhino army, the ape army, the lion army. I don't know. All I know is I saw Digital Asset News, Rob talk about it. I said, let's learn, let's get in. It sounds fun. They all sold out when they dropped 10,000. So, and they have a human 10,000 humans coming online, I think in January. They have video game ambitions. There's a whole backstory. It's very sophisticated. You know, it looks goofy and silly on some level, but I think it's kind of cool. And man, there's no better way to get on the ground floor of a project like this than to just jump in and see what comes of it.
Yeah, and this is one I think that we will have to revisit, you know, and come back after the new year and see where it's at, because it's still kind of very much in its infancy here.
Yeah, for sure. But it's been fun to hop in. And when I was a kid, look, I'm telling you, this is it kind of transforms me into my teenage, like early teens, or like maybe like 11, 12, 13-year-old. Like, oh, you got these different tribes of creatures, and they have ranks and different weapons, and they're going to go to battle. And I actually think they're going to battle humans. There's a whole backstory about humans that tested on animals, gave them, intelligence in some way. I don't know. It's all very cool, interesting to me. There's a pretty active Discord channel, a community that's building up around it. A bunch of weirdo dudes like me, probably, like just playing with little GI Joes and stuff when they were growing up. And I don't care, man. It's a fun little space. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential. I think it's going to take off eventually. And that's the other thing I'll say before we hit to the next project. Give these projects some time. I'm telling you, the level of impatience out there is remarkable. People are like, oh, this thing hasn't 2x or 10x since I bought it, so I'm out. Dude, do you like if that's what you're in it for, you're probably like, that's just going to be a lottery. You're just gambling at this point. But if you look into a project, you look at the creators, you look at the idea, someone put a lot of time and thought and energy behind this. There's all levels of rarity assigned to these different types of characters. So look, I'm pretty confident the people behind this are in it to win it. They want to create something awesome. They want to have intellectual property that grows and expands and it creates more value for themselves as well as others. So I'm on for the ride. Put a little bit of pocket change in it. At the end of the day, I'm not putting my life savings in here. Anything we say is not financial advice. Just a reminder, sort of general disclaimer. This is all fun. But I hope others can get and dip their toe in these types of projects, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Oh boy. This was a fun one. It was last week. Stu fires up a text message. NFL drops happening right now. Okay. I tried to get it on my phone. Steelers was minting for $250. And I didn't even know a dang thing. I was this close to hitting the trigger on that. And I said, what am I buying? What am I doing? And that was the hesitation that caused me to lose out, because now the lowest valued Steeler is $600. This is the NFL's initial mint drop for tickets, 125 virtual tickets per team. It was almost like a surprise launch. I don't know. How'd you hear about this, Stu? Was it on Twitter?
Oh, that's a great question. And I wish I could say, I'd done some due diligence. I'd done a lot of research. I didn't. I was actually on Coinbase, just kind of checking, what the market had been doing. And, I was scrolling down. I just happened to see, in one of the articles, NFL. And so it just kind of caught me because it's not something you see all the time. So I read a bit, and it talks about that they were going to launch these tickets. And I thought, oh, goodness. Okay. So I get on there, and so these commemorative tickets are selling for $10. And I thought, you know what? I don't have Raff's money, so I've got $10 though. I can probably go after that. And so the first one I'm going after is Pittsburgh, and I keep clicking and clicking because it's showing a green check mark that I've got the darn ticket, but it then keeps kicking me out. So it's like, okay, whatever. So I back out. As I back out, I see Pittsburgh at $250. I'm like, maybe that's why other folks are in there. So I go to the team I think would have the least bit of interest. I know I have the least bit of interest in them, the Cleveland Browns. So I click on Cleveland because they're still showing $10. I thought they might even put them on a deep discount of like $9 because it's the Cleveland Browns. But I click on Cleveland, and it allows me to purchase it. And so that's why, so I'm sending this text out to you guys, not having done any sort of research, just saying, I don't know what we're buying here, but it's $10. I just got it at Browns. And so I go in and again, another loser franchise. I click on the Bengals and I get the Bengals. So immediately, straight away, I get the two worst franchises in all of NFL with the Browns and the Bengals. And but I have them. I have them for $20, and that's about what they're worth to me. But I get them for $20.
What are
And
they
at
on the
that time,
market for
now
now?
you guys are on there. Now at this point, you're both actively on there, and you're so much better. And that's what I resent both of you for this. You're so much better at navigating these things. So within a matter of minutes, Jeff's got 7 tickets, I think, and Rob's got 18 tickets, and I'm still sitting on 2. And that's funny. Jeff's over the Chargers. I tried for 7 minutes to get a damn Charger, and I couldn't get it. And when I back out, it's like at $300. So I was just, in the meantime, Rob's already scooped up like 17 more.
Yeah, but I got some garbage, man. I got like 4 of the Washington football team. I got like 1 Eagle. I got Jacksonville. By the time I got in there, all the great teams were already like over hundreds of dollars. You know who was like? It was like Atlanta. There were some teams in there that were for a perennial $10. Like, this is shocking to me. And
well,
I mean, look at that. No,
I don't
here's
think people knew what was going on. I mean, I don't think there was a whole. I would not have had any idea had I just not been. It was a bit fortuitous, right? I mean, I just get on there and I happen to see right in that moment, and I think those darn things had just dropped not too much earlier, So
now the other thing that was confusing, which is the fun part of the story, we're scooping them up. I'm like, I'm buying as many of these things as I can. And then I think my final count's like 20. It's absurd. 23, maybe. It's crazy.
23.
I don't know how you got that many.
Well, I ended up buying a few in the secondary market. It's a long story, and just don't. I'm hoping for a good bonus at work that'll pay for all this stuff. But anyway, the point is, we were on there, and we were waiting for them to land. So we had confirmation. I was getting emails because this is also done through Ticketmaster of all things. So it's not, by the way, this is an interesting, similar to Candy. They're using, they allow people to use credit cards, which you think would open up the access to the market, because you don't have to have a MetaMask wallet. You don't have to have crypto assets. You could just use your old fashioned credit card. I think that's a good thing to get more people, but the actual asset is minted and you're given an NFT, and then you have to kind of figure out if you want to show it, how do you get it bridged from Polygon over to OpenSea. I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. Bottom line is, whatever system was running this stuff wasn't working very quickly. And we all thought, are we going to get anything? Our wallets were empty. If you go to my virtual ticket collection, you can see the 4 that Noah owns or not. You don't have to click on it. Don't need to. The point is,
we thought we had been not scammed. We thought we had purchased tickets that you needed to have real tickets to actually receive an NFT, because that's what the advertisements were. When we start to go to Twitter and realize, oh my gosh, we have nothing in our wallets. We bought something, but we have nothing. All 3 of us have nothing. We don't have any real tickets. And what's being advertised is you buy a real NFL ticket to one of these select games and you get an NFT. So we just think we bought the NFT, and then when you'd have to verify or validate it with a real ticket. And this is 2-3 hours of waiting, realizing we have nothing.
And then scroll down the page, because at the bottom there's something which is going to be fascinating to see these play out. So this is what Jeff's referring to, right? Like, there is an actual game,
yeah,
where if you have to go to this game, the first 16,000 people with a scanned physical ticket who attended this game are eligible to get the NFT. Now, I'm not sure, does anybody own that one yet? Has it been minted? I'm confused. That was the language that you saw in the description, and that's where we thought, oh man, we just bought a bunch of stuff that isn't worth anything. But then it turned out to be good, and it was all, crisis averted. And this, I'm going to say right now, after VeeFriends, this is like the number one. Although I haven't accrued any value, I haven't sold any of my assets here. I think they're going to go up more. I think once more and more people get into this, I think the limited number are pretty. I'm excited. I'm very big on I think if I had a lot of sort of extra money, this would be a great market to get into. Not financial advice, but there's some probably undervalued tickets here. There are more than 125 insane and wealthy NFL fans. And frankly, you don't have to be wealthy even these days. You just make poor financial decisions.
I would now say that the Bengals and the Browns tickets are highly undervalued. So
yeah, probably correct. So And it's an interesting project. I think it's only going to grow. It's exciting to see the NFL in the space. And guys, it's going to be like we think it's really new and innovative now. This is going to be mainstream adoption right around the corner.
Yeah.
And
It's going to
every
be
game is
ubiquitous
like,
in a year.
yeah, it's fascinating. All right, we're closing. We're getting to the end here, man. It's been like quite a march. This is an exciting project. So I don't even know how I heard about it. It's one of those things where I think Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all know that I'm searching by NFT project and cryptocurrency. And so they're going to like, the algorithms are reading my mind and feeding me things they think I would like. In this case, for whatever reason, I happened to learn about the launch of a project. And as we discussed earlier, this is not on the Ethereum chain. This is on Solana, and their marketplace is called SolSea, and their wallet is called Phantom. So there's a lot of learning to take place. But the bottom line is, somehow, some way, I learned about a young woman who's an artist, but who's also really passionate about trying to introduce people to the SolSea system and minting on Solana. TikTok, YouTube, all sorts of cool platforms that she's on, helping really just, shepherd and people into this space, which I think is extraordinarily like gracious of her and amazing. Obviously, it's mutually beneficial because then it also gives folks a way to get access to her art. She dropped 50 pieces here of this, pretty interesting work, right? The melting eye, it's got a little bit of reflection or some symmetry to it. It's interesting. Art is whatever, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? So I think it's cool. Bottom line is she minted 50 of these products or these tokens at, I want to say like 0.6 ETH or 06, not ETH, Solana. And now they started to resell. And if you go back to that main page, like these things are up there for 20, 10, 5, 4. You can see the whole, they're reselling. If you even go up a little bit further, you can see that the total sell of this is what the volume of sales is 28.61 sold. She gets 5% of the resale. This is why this technology is so game changing for artists, right? Every resale of these assets in perpetuity gives a cut to the artist. And I think that's fantastic. It's going to empower and hopefully enable artists to pursue these types of things full time. So the long and the short of it is, I found out about the project and somehow I found out about the Discord channel, and I saw something that said, you can be an OG if you join. You got to be one of the first 100. I think by the time I hopped in, I was in the 30s or 40s. I immediately texted Stu and Jeff, and I was like, hey, guys, you want to be OGs with me? And they had no idea, but this is the buy guys, right, man? This is how we roll. They didn't even question it. They just said, send link. Send link. We went in and I sent them a link. I said, sign up and verify your account as quickly as possible. Yeah. And then we became OGs, and they're like, okay, what did we just do? I say, well, trust me, this is awesome. Check it out. And so we've since, been playing around Discord, and the artist has started to, I think, just doing really cool stuff to introduce people to the community and get people more interested in NFTs. I'm half inclined to just one day mint my own NFT, even if it's just like my tax returns or something. I don't know. I don't have any, I'm not an artist, but I could, take a digital picture or something and try to put it on Solana just for fun to see how it works, Anyway, we're all three OGs in this community. She just dropped something else over the weekend, and Stu and Noah were whitelisted for it. I got the Heisman.
You got nothing, but we got
okay.
magic at your fingertips because of you.
It's okay. Anyway, no one's reselling those right now. Look, there was one up earlier today for like 2 or 1.5 SOL. They minted for 0.3, I think. So people are flipping, making money. That's great. I'm not in it to flip. I'm more like a supporting the artist here. I own.
Yeah, she's very, very talented. She's a very
I own a few
artist,
of these. I own a few of these right now. I'm gonna give one to my niece. I'm gonna try to get my I have a 13-year-old niece who I want to try to get in. She's an artist. I'm like, dude, you can do this. You could create all the things you're drawing, all the things you're doing. I'll support you. We'll get you on Solana. Follow this girl on Twitter and TikTok. Learn how to do this. This is the future. Yeah. I'm 46 years old.
EspoVisuals.
Yeah.
EspoVisuals.
EspoVisuals. Yes, her name is
Sydney Espo. Sydney Espo. She's
Sydney
very
Espo. Yeah,
talented.
yeah. I think it's her brother that's helping her out too. Like there's,
Yeah, yeah.
it's all very,
They just have they just have a different energy, right? I mean, and it comes across not only in their videos, but even in their just the way they
yeah,
engage
there it is.
folks on the Discord. It's just it's different.
And
Um,
it's great, man. I
yeah,
mean,
there it is.
the world needs more of it. And I'm just going to continue supporting this artist as much as possible.
Good on you for introducing.
Yeah, man. So you're all OGs. You guys have some of the mushroom pictures or whatever. And I'm jelly.
Magic at your fingertips.
I'm jelly, as the kids say. But I'll get
my
one.
daughter's all about this one. She wants a copy of it for her room. So this may be a Christmas gift for her.
All right. Well, I'm going to snag one at some point. When there was one up there today and I missed my opportunity, but I'll get one eventually. Anyway, this is exciting. And that's just, again, another platform. Then finally, we're going to close it out with a project that I got into very recently, Crypto College by Greg Isenberg, sort of emerging influencer, tech expert in the Web3 space. Here's the deal. I've been curious about NFTs for past 6 months, fascinated to them. I see everywhere I look, I see an NFT. McDonald's McRib, I want that NFT. I mean, like everything that to me is going this direction. And when I saw this advertisement for a week-long course, basically 3 sessions to join the Crypto College, the inaugural flagship class, up to 300 people. And here's how it works. And again, getting back to the sort of bridging the physical and digital worlds, you join the Discord channel, you buy this NFT, you get access to the classes, and most importantly, you get access to this community. It is a gated community. So the people who are in this are people who have invested in it. And now they are invested in the brand of Crypto College. And we learned about NFTs, DAOs, the digital autonomous organizations, and tokenized communities. And I'll be very candid. I'm really still very new to this stuff. I'm deep and excited about it, but I mean, I met some really sophisticated programmers and artists. The DAOs and the tokenized communities, that takes things to a whole nother level. It was even like right over my head. But the NFT lesson, the classes on that were fantastic and very inspiring. I'm super motivated to create an NFT project, maybe this spring or summer. And the benefit of being in this type of community at Crypto College is they're in there. He's invested in my success. He does office hours. Hey, how can I be helpful to you? I want to Sherpa, you up the mountain, and others. And the more that his students succeed, the better the brand of Crypto College grows. It's all mutual benefit. And then here's a cool thing too, when he priced it, if you scroll up just a little bit there, he dropped the prices. So it's like the first members of the class signed up, paid a small amount. And then, if you waited till the end of the class, as it really started to gain traction, you would pay the maximum amount. And this is a fascinating world, man. I bought mine on a resale. I didn't get the original mint because by the time I wanted to join, it was like a little beyond my price point. But then I saw one that someone presumably bought one probably around the 0.15 ETH. They invested in it, not to go as a student, but because they believed in the brand and they correctly made a guess that it's going to accelerate. I bought it, I think, at 0.6 because that seemed like a really reasonable price to me. I was like, I'm going to get to know more about this stuff that I'm really passionate about. I'm going to meet other people, other creative folks, and it's access for life. And now I'm invested in this brand. I'm invested in this community. I learned a lot. It was only a week of classes, so it's like not overwhelming, but it's more like the lifelong connection and association. And I'm like in the inaugural class. So I don't know what that's going to mean. I'm going to be like, I think it's the Naval Academy. They have a particular name for the guy who finishes last in the class. That's going to be me for this class, but maybe one of these days I'll prove this college. I'll prove Crypto College proud. And launch some amazing NFT project. Who knows? The sky's the limit. But yeah, that's a great project, and hopefully some folks could check out Crypto College, and maybe in the next class that he launches, give it a shot yourself. All right. So where does that leave us? I think we're back to square one. Is this the end of Bye Guys season 2 special edition opener? My goodness. We've been rambling, and I gotta say though, time flies when you're having fun. Guys, this has been a great evening. I think It's been long overdue. I think Bye Guys season 2 needs to happen. We're going to have a powwow about that. No major announcements tonight. Any final words as we close it up, gentlemen?
As you were going through all of those projects, and it just kind of reminds me of just how quickly it seems like. I don't want to speak for Jeff or you, Rob, but it seems like time. There's been a few months, but really it hasn't been that long at all. I mean, these projects, they come, we get excited about them, we jump in there, and that for me, has been very enjoyable, kind of finding these projects and learning how to create these wallets and exploring elements of the metaverse, and just riding kind of the roller coasters that comes along with it. So I've enjoyed that. But you look at all those projects that we're already in, and we've just been doing it for a couple months.
Yeah, try to think of the whole space and what we're doing as, and follow me on this. It's like a roulette table that's moving, and the roulette table is moving to where we all know this space is going. And we have to figure out, where do we put our chips within that table? And some of these are going to be on, red and black, like very straightforward plays. And then others are going to be in the NFT space and NFT projects. And, what are we interested in? And I think on one of our episodes, I put money on black for this group while I was in Las Vegas, and I lost. So, I'll put money on black again. That's kind of what I want to do if I play roulette. And for me, where I place my chips is probably going to be a little bit different than where Raff and Stu places their chips. But we're all on the same table. We all know where that table's going. And it's just a matter of, how do we want to coordinate our chips on the table. And lately it's been a lot of NFTs and learning that space, failing fast, learning wallets, learning different platforms, learning about the utility that's built in. And oh, by the way, some projects that I probably would have never learned about before that have a lot of really interesting art behind it. And, so we talk about Major League Baseball, up and coming artists, NFL, and crypto baristas all in the same conversation. The common thread there is an explosion of creativity and utility that the masses don't know about yet. So it's kind of fun to be on the forefront of that, learning with a couple good friends.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll obviously let Rob close it out, as he should, but that's just such a fantastic analogy. I haven't heard you use that before, but I think I'm gonna, if you'll allow me, to steal that moving forward, because like that roulette table, I mean, there's just so many. There's almost an infinite number of combinations of things. So when you start looking at all these different projects and all the things we can invest in, like at the roulette table, you can play roulette all day, and we can invest in these little projects and put some money here, put some money there, and some might hit, some don't. But that's such a great analogy, and yeah, thanks for sharing that. I'm going to use that moving forward.
I want to build on something Jeff said to close it out, which is the amount of creativity that's just exploding right now. It's so exciting to see. If you look around the world, it's easy to get down. It's easy to see the downside of things, glass half empty. Things are falling apart, chaos, disruption, division. I'll tell you what, if you just spend a little bit of time in this NFT space, or the crypto space broadly, but in particular the NFT space, man, it re-energizes you. It reminds you that there's a lot of ways that people are trying to connect and create, make the world a better place, help their fellow man. I think it's awesome. It gives me a lot of hope for the future. And I can't wait to launch season 2 of Bye Guys in the near future. Because in crypto, you gotta wait a second. I almost choked there. Oh, it was so smooth.
In the lottery.
In the lotto, you got to play to win, but in crypto, you got to buy to fly. All right, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye.